My friends, hello and welcome to GoldenEye SpeedLore, the series where we look at one stage in the classic video game GoldenEye 007 and learn the story of the players who set world record speedruns on that stage through the lens of the world record progression. And tonight we have a heck of a story indeed. Tonight's stage is a level so indicative of one's skill that in modern recorded history, only players in the top 5 have ever set a world record on the stage. Since 2002, only 8 men have set a record on Secret Agent, and only 7 on Double Agent. And since 2008, it's been mostly 2 men going back and forth in a truly undying rivalry that defines GoldenEye speedrunning as a whole. Yes, indeed, this is Control, Secret, and 00 Agent. And let's start right off the bat by looking at Control here. It is the longest level in the game by quite a substantial margin. We can see there are 3 objectives we have on Control: protect Natalia, disable GoldenEye satellite, destroy armored mainframes. We're going to see what all this means by watching this run that I prepared earlier tonight as the sort of basic run. There's a lot to show in this level, so let's get to it and explain it. And Control is one of the last levels in the game, in the main storyline. It's the 3rd last level. In the movie, there's kind of a confrontation. You're kind of hacking the GoldenEye satellite to prevent it from launching on Earth, and then you kind of go and finish off Trevelyan. But this is like one of the last major things in the story of GoldenEye, and 3rd last level in the game. A lot of people got stuck on it. Let's take a look. So off the bat, you have these drones in this first room. There are 3 of them. They're firing immediately at you in the lift. So you have to be very, very skilled and take them out. There are also 6 guards in this room. And you must eliminate all 6 guards and the 3 drone guns. Otherwise, Natalia will not leave her lift. Open it. James, you were wonderful. She comes out. Now, if you've taken damage in this first room, which of course the speedruns don't, she'll say different things like, "Oh, James, you look hurt. Like, are you okay?" Stuff like that. Which is very nice of her. James, you look wonderful. Then she goes over to this screen. Now, I think this screen will be a bit of a contentious point later on, but I think we can talk about it during another run, for sure. So she does a few animations there, she gets this blast door open, and then you proceed through the level. This door's locked otherwise, and we'll see that again. There's some remote mines. You actually need those mines to complete the level. These guards love throwing grenades. You can see I've picked up a couple grenades now. Yep, lots of nades. And the silver, the crate, we call them the crate guards, and they can be pretty annoying on a world record speedrun. Yes, sure, we'll see Boris coming up in a minute, and if you do eliminate Boris, Natalia gets mad at you, and the mission fails. She refuses to go along with the rest of the mission. So here's Boris. Don't mind me, I just look up the computers. Then he thinks he's being all cool, pulls out a PP7, and then drops it because he's afraid. And, yeah, so if you shoot him, which you would think seems intuitive, you fail. Here's a mainframe. There's 30 bullets into it, so that kind of illustrates that they won't blow up. Tables, other things blow up. The mainframes, you have to throw an explosive at them for them to blow up. I was surprised that guard came down, but I guess the shooting lured him down. Another guard here. Oh, passed away in the smoke. So, on this run, to be super, super duper safe, I'm going to go up the stairs here and get the body armor. A lot of health. Yeah, O'Neill, exactly. I mean, I'm sure I kind of remember similar, so You think, oh, I gotta at least injure Boris, but it's not the case. So then you go back into this door, open it up, Natalia comes out, and now she's gonna hack the GoldenEye satellite, which is objective B. And it's a weird level where you kind of almost complete the objectives in reverse order, as we'll see a little bit later on. Okay, so now, if Natalia gets to her computer where she's ready to hack, and you're not there, she'll say, James, I need cover while doing this. And so this kind of... she's not hacking right now when she could be. If you could find a way to do this mainframe before or after Natalia is done hacking, it would lose less time. Like right now, all that time was lost until I re-entered this kind of room-ish area near Natalia. So she will not hack and proceed with Objective B until you're in this zone. Oh, here we go. Bless the rains down in Africa there on the map. Everyone likes shooting out the map. And you'll see... I wonder, you know, I obviously haven't watched every single 4.5-minute run that we're about to witness through the lore, but shooting out the screen kind of became canon. So I wonder which run will be the first tonight to show a screenshot out. That'll be something to look for sure. Now there's about 2.5 minutes. No, you don't have to shoot the map. There's about 2.5 minutes here where guards will come down to harass you in Natalia. Guards wearing no hats go after Natalia. Guards wearing black hats go after you. So Natalia is obviously a priority. Your health is kind of a resource. You can use your health as the resource to tank shots from black hat guards, while prioritizing the non-hatted guards who go after Natalia. And we'll see some stuff coming up. Yeah, so the map animation adds slight lag. And, okay, there. Oh, here we go. There's a guard shooting Natalia. They pop through the glass. Now, I can't break out the glass. That shot I just did on Natalia goes to show that she does have body armor. And so, she takes a few shots to start taking damage. And, okay, sometimes the black-hatted guards will spawn right there and troll you. I stood in this spot simply to demonstrate that you're much more exposed here. Guards can spawn, there's like lots of openings, lots of doors. That guard got a shot on Natalia, you could hear her moan. So she was hit there. If she takes more hits, she might die, but Objective B finally completed. And that's good. We're ready to go on our merry way. So it can be a very chaotic area, as we'll see later tonight for sure. So she says 3 things, 3 lines of text, then she starts running up the stairs. She opens this door. There she's standing and waiting for the door to open. We're gonna follow her in here just to see what happens. She does the same thing. She opens this door, which takes, it takes a couple seconds. Then she runs and runs and runs back to the lift that you came from, which is the ending lift of Jungle Mission, if you recall. So she enters this. Objective A completes. Now, I didn't notice this. I can't open this door. It's locked. So I was like, oh, am I stuck? Well, I went to this door. It's also locked. I honestly had no idea. And then guards do come and open this door. Yeah, I'd completely forgotten about that. Now, we do have to complete Objective C here. We have one more mainframe to blow up. This one here. This is called, Ace calls this the glass mainframe. Now, Trevelyan is in this room and he can shoot. He shoots you with 100% accuracy unless you go and shoot towards him to, and then he'll close the lift and not fire at you anymore. There's lots of guards in this room. We're gonna get to the ending lift, and I figured let's have some fun. Let's throw a grenade in there and have it blow up while we exit the level. $7.19. new cheat available. The cheat you get is infinite ammo, which is a pretty useful cheat. You know, when you're just playing around with the game, having fun. Infinite ammo. A lot of levels, if you have the all guns cheat, you won't have ammo for those weapons. So infinite ammo, you'll get ammo for like the shotguns and the rocket launchers and stuff like that. So it's a useful cheat to have. And you can see 7:19, almost 3 minutes ahead of target time, with a lot of safe plays and taking my time. So the target time isn't that difficult to beat speed-wise, but it is a bit of a hard level to just complete, period. Now there's also a story, I remember, I've told this in a video in the past. This level is really hard. I remember one day after school, I must have been like grade 5, I must have been like 10 years old, maybe 12, it could have been like, yeah, it was probably grade 5. Could have been somewhere grade 6, 7, 8, but I think it was grade 5. And this kid came to my house after school and knocked on the door, and he's like, man, like, I know you're good at GoldenEye, how do I beat Control? And the problem he was having is he didn't know where all of the mainframes were. Objective C. He couldn't find all the mainframes. And I tried to describe where all of them are to him. There's 6 in total. And I told him, like, look, you can come on in and I'll show you how to beat the level. And he didn't want to do it. You know, you're awkward when you're that age. Oh, I don't want to come in and impose or anything. You know, not that, you know, your grandmother looking after you after school would care if you come on in with a 10-year-old and show him a video game for 10 minutes. But I tried to describe it to him, and that was the best I could do, and he just left. And I don't know if he ever beat Control. It's a mystery for the ages. If this young gentleman ever beat Control, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. So that's a funny story about the level that I like to tell. Let's take a gander here at the earliest world records on the stage. Control, Secret, and Double Agent. And you'll see here, something kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. On Double Agent, Steven Jortes claimed this 4:25 in June 01, and it was well ahead of the record on Secret Agent by Wouter and Tim Grenby, 4:26. Even when Jortes got the 4:25, the record on Secret was 4:27 by Randy Bukima. And we can see Randy's 4:34 was like the proven record on Double Agent. I know that was like the one that had a video. We'll skip that video tonight. So this time by Jortes is like highly, highly contentious, and it's widely accepted he never got the time. It's too far ahead of what people were getting at the time to be believable. And this is a sort of Jortes has kind of been removed. I mean, he has been removed from the rankings in the past year. He came back and said he was going to prove this ancient Aztec strategy, and he just kind of gave more bluster and more questions and very strange actions. And so it was kind of determined, like, look, because he has times on the rankings like this one, Control 00425, which are still worth a ton of points on the rankings, it was like, you know what, this is rude to the new players. Most new players wouldn't have Control 00425, and he's costing them points with no proof, and so this time was removed from the rankings. But it is pointed to as like the early epic record on the stage, even though Randy's 4:34 is probably more appropriate for that. You know, looking back in time 20 years ago, we have a really good idea of what is or isn't possible at any point throughout history. And 4:25 I bet you none of the newer players, not even newer, none of the players who have been around for 10 plus years would tell you that he probably got the time. It's unlikely. So 4:34, 00 Randy, and 4:26 Wouter and Tim. So let's watch our first speed run of the night. And for that, we'll go a little bit in the future beyond these runs we just mentioned to Wouter Jansen. This run was set in February 03. Let's watch a Control 00 speed run. So this is probably going to be really, really good high skilled. You can see he's making great progress here. Okay, so he lost a bit of time there by not... he missed a couple shots on the drone. Okay. He shot Natalia twice in the head. Why did he do such a thing? He pauses as she steps to the thing. So she's doing one animation, putting her arm up to her head. Then another one where she clicks the computer. Now another arm up to the head. And now he shot her, and now he backed up. And now she got the thing open. Now he messed that up. And we'll explain it probably over the next couple runs. What was supposed to happen there. But he's going to progress through the level, plants a mine there, takes 1 bar of damage there. I expect he'll shoot out this guard here. Does some injuries. Goes back in, lures out Natalia. Chucks a mine there, blows up that glass, watches her come to the steps. Goes in here, chucks a mine here, blows up one of the drones, shoots the other drone out. Backs up, and so he might have lost 1 second there by taking too long to get back into this main room area. You saw the James, I need cover doing this objective, or text box come up. So he probably lost about a second there. And he's lost a few seconds elsewhere on the mission. Now, for the sake of brevity, and so we don't watch 50 of these protects all night long, I'm going to skip the protect. But I want to see the time, how long the protect area takes. So the alarm went off at about 1:55 on the timer here, on the YouTube timer. And objective B is going to complete. Let's see when it completes. I've skipped about 1.5 minutes ahead. We're 2.5 minutes. We're 2:35. It's going to complete any second now. 2:40. Oh no, we're 1:40. My math is off. I think it's a low 2 minutes. 1:50. 1:55. There we go. So it's a right around 2 minutes is how long the protect takes from the moment the alarm goes off to when objective B completes. Now, what he did there is pretty important. It completes, he runs up the stairs, opens this door. A guard's there, he deals with him. Now, if you remember the example run, Natalia opened the door herself and stood there for a couple seconds. So by opening that door, Natalia will take less time to get to the objective A ending, where she goes back to her lift. As soon as B completes, you can leave this area as well. The objective's complete, she doesn't get mad at you anymore. So as soon as B completes, he rushes up the stairs, opens the door, and now carries on. Now he still has 2 more mainframes to blow up, so he'll do this. Throws a mine on that mainframe. Throws a mine there. Detonates, completes objective C. We'll probably see objective A come up on screen here, I think. Nope. We did not, which is interesting. Control double agent 424. And yes, we did not see objective A complete on screen. So what happened is, as he entered the lift, Natalia reached her ending zone. Perfectly timed, got out of there. I want to check a little timer here. It doesn't take any damage. So this will be consistent. This message disappears at 4:08 on the YouTube timer. And he enters the last lift at 4:28. So there was 20 seconds between her last message disappearing and her entering the lift. And that amount of time will decrease as time goes on. Wouter would follow this up pretty quickly with a 4:22 on Secret Agent. Now, I do want to watch the first room on this run to see what he does with this Natalia animation stuff here. So Natalia won't exit that lift until you've eliminated all the guards and their bodies have faded out and have destroyed all the drones. Nice pause. So the first animation she'll make there is always like putting up to her head, like thinking. And then, okay, there she's tapping the computer screen. That's one animation. Tapping the computer screen again. So by shooting her there, what he did was basically Natalia, when she gets to that computer screen, there is a certain amount of time that has to pass before this door gets open. The time that it takes to pass is roughly the amount that it takes of 3 animations of her putting the gun to her head and thinking. So he tried to optimize it, and this is pretty insane stuff for 2003. Tried to optimize it by, during the 3rd animation, interrupting it, shooting her, having her react, and then when she comes back, it like resets the animation, thinking the 3rd animation is done, and then gets the door open. There's also a chance, so there's, you know, once she puts her hand up to her head and thinks. The other one is she kind of like steps back and like, or she puts her arms at her side, it is. And that one's longer. So ideally you would get like 3 short animations, that's a fine timing. But if you get 2 short animations and then the long one is going to take well longer than, you know, the short one, obviously. And so that like loses a couple seconds. And so the idea is, if you get that long animation, you want to interrupt that one for sure, so that way she'll open the door in a faster time. She'll open the door kind of when she's supposed to, as soon as the timer elapses that is needed for her to open the door. So it's crazy that they knew about this stuff in 2003. I'm pretty impressed. And then, you know, we'll skip right ahead and watch the ending again. I'm curious about the time on the ending, because this stuff is important going ahead. So 4:07 on the YouTube timer. Just gonna chuck the mine there. And basically, because, you know, on the last run we watched, it took Natalia 20 seconds to escape. You have 20 seconds to blow up those last 2 mainframes, right? That makes sense. And again, that was about a 19-second ending, so a little bit faster. And good stuff by Wouter getting these records in 2003. Now, Wouter would have some company pretty shortly. Boss would join him. Let's take a look at Boss's run. Not much later. And again, I'll probably watch the same amount of Boss's run here. Really nice starts. So Boss has done something slightly differently in this first room. He ran under this drone. The drone's not going to hurt you when you run under it. And he's shooting kind of on the way back to Natalia. That's a little bit faster, a little bit better. A little bit more optimal way to do the first room. And so Boss has decided to do this. I expect he'll shoot Natalia twice as well. That's to remove her body armor. 2 head and 1 leg. He's going to shoot her arm, whereas Wouter shot her head. So he backs her up, that animation, and that times it perfectly. You don't want to get trolled. See, when you shoot her in the arm or the head or something like that, the chances are you're going to have a very consistent animation, a recovery animation from Natalia. Whereas if you let her do a random animation at the computer, you could randomly lose time, like I pointed out earlier. So by shooting her makes it a consistent timing method to get her to open the door as fast as possible. And Boss would get control double agent. We'll watch the ending of this run again. I'm curious what he does here. Looks like he takes a bit of a different path. Now, when you get shot, the message stays up longer, so judging the timing of his message is worthless on this run. We can't see how fast Untitled escapes, because that shot interrupted, made the message stay up longer. Our timing method's off. He takes an alternate route ending to get the body armor. He was probably low health. Good idea, get 8 more bars of health. Open the door. Objective A was up. And he gets Control 00422, so a 2-second time cut, and a pretty good run at that. With Objective A being up, though, it's like, let's say he, didn't have to get the body armor. He could be in the lift at this time. He could be in the lift probably now. He could be inside. So he lost like at least 1 full second there with Objective A on screen. 422. Still got a 2-second untied though, so pretty good. Yeah, so the shot to the armor head there. So Wouter does 2 headshots and then a 3rd headshot. Boss does 2 headshots and a leg shot to rid the armor. And then followed by an arm shot. I think they're roughly equal because Wouter's 3rd shot being a headshot takes off the rest of her armor and does a little bit of damage, whereas Boss is taking off the rest of the armor with the leg shot and then doing a little bit of damage with the arm shot. So I think it's probably roughly even. And of course, because she has no body armor, you have to be more careful in the protect, since she's more likely to get hit. So these records were set in October 2003. Boss got 422 on 00 and 418 on Secret Agent. An untied sweep on the level. A pretty good one at that. And we can see Boss is starting to dominate the rankings. There's still a lot of Wouter splashed in here. A solid 1-2 at this point in time. Statue sweep for Boss. There you go. 117.59. Boss probably became the guy to break the 118 total time barrier with those control records. I mean, back then he's cutting off so much time. It's unbelievable. Let's take a look here. Yeah, look at this. This is pretty cool. Time cutters 03. The total time was 119.38 at the beginning of the year. Wouter broke the 119 barrier with a Bunker 2 double agent. And then throughout, the middle of 2003, Boss and Wouter are just destroying the game. Some Graham Morris, to his credit. Graham cut off 11 seconds on Cavern's 00. That's really insane. And then Boss broke the damn Secret Agent 119, broke the 118 barrier. They cut off 2 minutes of time that year. That is mightily impressive. And that's, the game had been out 6 years, and it's still becoming so optimized. I mean, it shows you how unoptimized it was after 5 years of being out, and now we're 6 years being out, and it's still taking off all its time. So yeah, I mean, if you think your game's optimized, and it's not even been 5 years since it's been out on the market, think again, I would say. Generally speaking. Not always, but think again. Your game's time will come. Well, we bring up an interesting point with Jimbo getting an untied in 2003. Jimbo was a good player back then. Quite a good player. He was up to rank 3rd at one point. And in early 2004, he would get this run. Control 00 Agent 422. Tying Boss's record. But, if we look at the time cutters again, Boss cut off 44 seconds, Jimbo cut off 1. Boss often has a strong reaction when a player who he feels or rightfully knows, is not as skilled as him, gets a time that maybe beats him or ties one of his records. And Boss starts seeing red, he gets enraged, Boss. This run by Jimbo in particular, he also had Objective A visible on at the end, so it could have been 1 or 2 seconds faster. Jimbo very easily could have untied Control 00, which would be stunning if that happened. We were looking for the video. I talked to Joris Quevedo, who's sort of become in the community, a guy who looks for these old lost videos. We couldn't find it. If you click download video, it links to activigor.com, and it's a dead link, doesn't exist anymore. Jim is looking for this video himself. Joris talked to him about it, couldn't find it. Joris asked Wouter, and Wouter thinks he may have the video on a CD somewhere. It sounds like it's like in his attic or like in a box somewhere. And so Wouter couldn't pull it out in time for this lore. He might not even have it. It might be lost media. But it is possible that this 422 video will be dug up at some point. We don't know when, if at all. But it's a historic run that he definitely got and definitely existed at some point. Wouter confirmed today he will send you the video. Wow, that is this is quite a development. If we get the video up, I'll definitely link it in the description of this lore, because that's quite some history to locate this lost media. But yes, Boss saw red. Boss was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe Jimbo tied my time." He saw the run. The run wasn't up to his standards. The records again were 418 and 422. And Boss went mad. And he played the heart out of control. So much so that he got a run that's maybe inexplicable. We'll watch this one in its entirety. June 2004, after a couple weeks of grinding control, he got this. So, you notice there he closed the lift on himself and then reopened it. This resets the lift's timer. So if he's fast enough in this room, he can get back here before the lift closes, and Natalia can see him before the lift has to be reopened. This saves a substantial amount of time. Instead of having to run right back and open the door and then say hi, Natalia, he can just run within her line of sight. The door's still open, and she'll run right out. So there we go, backing up Natalia with the arm shot, timing the door, perfectly open. Let's carry on, Boss. Scoops up the remote mines. A back boost there, forward boost there, so not bad at all. Especially at this time. Warps the door. Ooh, avoiding getting hit there is like really good. It's really luck-based. So Boss doesn't bother to damage that guard, he just goes for it. You know, Boss is going all out, trying to optimize this level as best he can. Does this strategy where he, yep. Blows the drone. VHS tapes definitely do spoil. Okay, so Boss shot her there to try to, like, initiate... Same idea. Like, get the animation time so that, she'll start hacking as soon as she possibly can. We would later determine that to not have an impact. Once she steps towards that table, there's like a soft timer begins. And then when the alarm sounds, it's not relayed to that. So, but at the time we didn't know this. This is now June 04. We had no idea. And so Boss's logic, based on what we knew at the time, was sound. You know, this is a time 04. What were computers like? Were there such things as N64 emulators? I don't even know. I'm sure there probably might have been, but yeah, it's like these are the early days. Really, really, really clutch stuff there. Guards broke both glasses at the same time, so he had to be very, very precise in shooting them quickly, and otherwise they would have fired at Natalia and caused damage. Now, Boss's blowing up these desks, because it's believed at the time, that could have been really, really bad. I believe their first shot misses, and then their next shots will start damaging Natalia. And since Natalia's already lost her body armor, and he's shot her twice since, that could have been bad news. He blows up the desks because it's believed that it helps Natalia get to her ending spot sooner. He's created more of an open path for her to run through. That's the belief at the time. And that probably was something to... That probably was real, basically. Objective B complete. I'm going to watch the timer here. You can see 3:45. I'm glad you guys can see it there. Look, he's doing all... This is insane. So because there were so many guards, he couldn't go and open the door for her. Will it matter? So 3:57, that disappears. The timer disappears. Let's see when he ends the level. Let's see when he jumps into the lift. This is actually a really insane run. He's quite healthy, but it's still, like, pretty scary. Because the run's so good. C complete. 4:11, 4:12. He's taking more damage. 4:14. In the lift. About 20-second ending. Record was 4:22. Control double O agent 4:17. In the month of June, Boss skipped from 4:22 to 4:19, then got 4:18, then got 4:17. An insane, absolutely insane record. Now a 5-second untied over Jimbo. Amazing stuff. Showing how dominant of a player he is at the time. His ending was 20 seconds. So, what Boss figured was this. The fastest she can escape, he's thinking, if I don't open her door, and she opens the door herself, the fastest she can escape is 20 seconds. You can see 3:55. How could you see it earlier? Oh, because of the volume. Oh, that's cool. Okay, 3:57 is when the message disappears. And then he jumps in at 4:17. It's like 20 seconds. So he's figured that like 20 seconds is the fastest time in which she can complete Objective A. So at this point, he's looking at his VCR. He told me this. And he's like watching a timer to know when to jump in and give a chance that she could possibly complete. So it's like, he knows she can complete in 20 seconds. She won't always do it, but she can. And so he's jumping in, hoping Objective A will complete while the level's fading out. And it did, and he got 4:17, which is remarkable. And of course, at the same time, he would be playing Secret Agent. Again, the record was 4:18. He was grinding hard on Secret Agent at the same time. And he would get this run. This run is so remarkable, my friends, that it is dedicated to our SpeedLore champion, 4-Day Bender. Thank you for supporting SpeedLore on Patreon. I hope you enjoy this amazing speedrun by Boss on June 15, 2004, the same day as his Control Double O Agent 4:17. This is now on Secret Agent. Let's see how fast he goes here. Again, same strat. So he's closed and reopened the door. Now he can get there fast, She just gets in his line of sight, or he gets in her line of sight. She comes out of the door. Good time save. I think we're going to see something very, very interesting on this level, on this run, that will probably save even more time than on Double O Agent. Let's take a look. Yeah, 4:17 is still a really, really good time. Picks up the mines. Now, those mines give you 10 mines on Secret Agent and Agent. They only give you 8 on Double O. So you have a couple more mines on Secret Agent. And Boss is going to throw 2 of them, detonate them, take some health, and skip going all the way around up the stairs and get to Natalia early. That saves some pretty good time. That's for sure. The rest of the run probably plays out just as similarly. We'll take a look. Let's see if boss does the back shot here. Again, sound logic, but does nothing. Shoots out the map to reduce lag for this. It doesn't speed up the time of the protect, that's important to note. But it makes it less laggy, and so you can manage the guards much more easily. And now it's just time to do it. To protect Nat. You can get really trolled by black hat guard spawns. If they come down the stairs, they're somewhat predictable. You know when they're coming down, you can brace yourselves. But they can just spawn in those back corners. In the sections that get broken out like that, black hat guards can spawn there. They'll pop out and just shoot you. And when you're already somewhat low on health, that can be a big, big, big issue. So he's going to carry on shooting at these guards. We're getting closer to Objective B completing. It can be a really tense time when it's like, oh man, how am I going to survive this? What's happening? You're just waiting for Objective B to complete on screen. We're still in the kind of early days of like timing your runs using these sort of external timers. You know, is that a tool? Does it make it a tool-assisted speedrun if you're looking at a timer on your VCR? To know, you know, how much time has passed during the protect. Some would debate it, I'm sure. Objective B completes, he runs up, opens the door, comes back down. Disappears at 355. Let's see when he jumps in. Oh, big damage there, big damage. He's getting low on health. This is scary. He completes. He can only take one more hit. He goes to the left there. Whoa, almost missed. Jumps in at 414. A 19-second ending. It completed. Control Secret Agent 413. Unbelievable. Another 5-second untied. Boss got 417, 416, 415, 414, and 413 in the span of a week in June 2004. Boss is damn good indeed, and that would make it for Boss to that point in time. 2, 3, 4, 6, 8 times he untied Control Secret Agent, and 4 times he untied Control Double Agent. It's 2004, and he's untied Control Secret Agent 8 times. Well, the thing is, back then you almost wanted to not skip, because you weren't competing with as many people, and he was able to rack up 8 untieds that way, right? Pretty good stuff. And here we go. Those were done, like I said, in June 04. Well, by December 06, guess what? They're all still untied, and he has an untied swoop in the level. So not as only is Boss an amazing player getting these 5-second untieds, they last a long time. 2.5 years untied in the level. And as we always know, when we get to this point in time on the rankings, other people have started to show up, including Ilu, including myself. Dan Cervone's been there mucking around. Mouser's there, tying good records. Alex Anderson, our buddy. Henrik. A lot of good players have come along. Dan Cervone had a 414 on Control Secret Agent. 1 second off. Pretty good. 417 was still pretty uncontested at that point. So Yeah, Boss is still looking pretty good. He's getting some pressure on Saber Agent, but he's still looking pretty good. Now, Boss never likes when I bring this up, but it's true. It happened. It's not a big deal. 15 years ago, basically, 13 years ago, Boss made a bunch of his videos in like mid 05. These ones I just showed you are from 04. Jimbo made them at some point in 04. He had some videos made in like summer 05 when he visited Endgamer. And then he went a long time without having videos made, and he got all these really good records, like Cradle 34 and Frigate 103, and I've spoken about these in their respective lores. And it was been a year and a half since he had got some of these records, and we hadn't seen the videos yet because, you know, the tapes had not been sent out. He didn't have a capture card. And you take it for granted. I used to kind of, you know, I used to make fun of guys like this, but you know what? I kind of understand. I kind of empathize more. Guys who, you know, putting your tapes in a box and going to the postal office, you take it for granted. It's not the easiest thing for everybody, you know? And Boss was one of those guys. And so it took some coaxing to get him to mail out his VHS tapes with these good records on them. And we're here now, December 06, January 07, and we're like, man, Boss, you gotta mail the tapes. Please do it. And he's like, okay, okay, enough time's passed. I'm gonna mail the tapes. Jimbo or Mouser, I forget who captured them. Might have been Clemens. Someone captured the times. But he's like, I want to get a couple more really, 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 really good runs before sending out the tapes. And so Boss sat down again on one of his beloved levels 2.5 years after he last played in Untitled levels. And he's like, I'm going to go for more Untieds. And here's what he got. Probably just watch the first rooms. We'll probably skip the protects on these runs. I mean, everyone was waiting for these tapes, and to see them finally come out was, I mean, this run is even much faster than his previous run. You could tell based on when the elevator dings. It's suffice to say that the tapes were worth the wait. So instead of backing up, now he's running. Kind of keeps better full speed there. Grabs the remote mines. Gets a boost. Cleanly through there. A little bit to the right, a little bit kind of far away, but makes it up. Gets Natalia. He spins around to watch Natalia come down the stairs. Because, and we'll see a clip of it, Natalia, like, can behave randomly, and, like, sometimes she'll just, like, randomly stop or spin. And if you get a really good start, like this run, and she does that, that's gonna be pretty upsetting, I would say. There's the alarm going off, so we'll skip 2 minutes ahead here. There's objective B completed. Opens the door. So now he's going upstairs. He's going on an alternate route. And this was sort of speculated to be like, maybe if we stay away from Natalia, we'll load her less, and so her escape time will be more consistent. Let's double check the timing here, actually. I'll keep this here so you guys can see it. So it disappears, the messages disappear at 3:55. And yeah, it wasn't known, but it was just kind of like some guys were taking that path after opening the door for Natalia and feeling like it worked out better for them. Still going to left there to take out that guy. Takes out these guys. 18-second ending. Goes in, completes. What is this? 411 secret agent. Another untied by boss. I mean, it's truly amazing, truly incredible. Yeah, listen to where the lift dings on his 413 secret agent, okay? Listen carefully here. So right as he gets back to Natalia, the lift dings. On this run, it's like there's a couple more seconds, so he saved time in the beginning for sure. I mean, he played amazing. He played amazing. And of course, again, when you're playing Control Secret 00 Agent, I think he did. Yeah, he definitely closed and reopened there. On both times he did. When you play Control Secret Agent, you probably also play Control 00 Agent, so he would also try to lower his Control 417 on 00, which was, again, Boss and I discussed this. We didn't know who had, like, the second place time. That stuff was never really tracked on the Elite. So it's possible, like, 422 by Jimbo was still second place. And I kind of think it was, as far as I can tell and know. Ilu might have had I remember we thought Ilu might have had a time. Where's the ding here? Again, the ding is much later. So it's like, you know, this is like a 2-second faster start than previously. Yeah, Ilu had a 420. No, that was after this. Ilu had a 421 in October. So his 417 was still a 4-second untied. And then he went basically insane and tried to get this run. I'm curious what he does here. Yeah, Boss cannot be stopped at this point. At this point being the key. Takes no damage. What's he gonna do? Warps the door? Oh man. Goes up the stairs. He's kind of low on health. Should I watch this whole run? You know what? This lore is already going so long. Let's just watch this run. What's it gonna do? I want to see the protect because he's like... He only has 4.5 bars, I think. So he can only take 4 more shots. And as you can probably tell, he almost always takes a shot in the final room. Trevelyan there is just simply too accurate. I think Trevelyan in that final room is programmed to be 100% accurate, so yeah. Now he's blowing out another table because the reason for that is to... When guards come down the stairs, they can be in various places. And so, blowing up the desks gives you a better line of sight to other guards. Priapus, you've missed, you know, about almost an hour, but there's still probably 2 or 3 hours left. So this one is... Yeah, this one is... Settle on in. Settle on in. This one is going the distance. I'm actually kind of stunned how long this one's gonna go. Like, I think it's a lock to go over 3 hours. I think I'm just gonna not cut it down at all for YouTube, honestly. Oh, he's oh my god, insane! Oh, Natalia was taking damage! Look at that! See, I didn't even notice it, but a guard popped up, a guard snuck in there when Boss wasn't looking, went right up to Natalia's face, and started firing at her. She almost passed away. He fired basically a full clip at her, and because her body armor was so strong, it ended up working out. Oh, there's a shot. He's on to take her. Oh, one more shot and she's dead. I have to recheck something in the first room to see if he did something a little bit differently. He may have at this point. There's so many like little improvements and things to look for in this level that like on any given run it's hard to like look for every single one. At this point, she's taking so much damage. Any guard who shoots her probably is going to end her and fail the mission. That almost happened right there. This is risky. He's doing the reverse route, and so this is riskier because any guard could spawn now and shoot her, and you just lose. There's nothing you can do about it. Well, let's watch the end timer here, actually. So this one's 356. Disappears. A high 356, low 357. Boss didn't take any damage there, which is pretty impressive. So much damage, though. Jumps in at... So 18-second end, 17.5, it completes. That was about a 17.5 end. Control double agent 413, an 8-second untied. He had previously got a 4. He skipped from 417 to 415, and then 415 to 413. An 8-second untied. Absolutely unbelievable. Mind-blowing. Matching his time on his previous time from Secret Agent, which of course he had just improved. Yeah. He was really lucky that the guard in the Protect didn't kill Natalia. The guard was probably within one shot of doing so. Well, at this point, Irie, this was the standard timing method. It would only be much later that the timing method would switch to the way you guys do it now. And I'm still old school, so. What is maybe shocking to viewers of this episode, as dominant as Boss has been through the first part of this lore, up until 2007, this would be the last world record Boss would ever set on this stage. Hard to believe, but true. The next 10 years would be dominated by 2 other gentlemen, and only 4 total people would get a record on the stage at all since then. And that's the story we're going to tell next. Sort of, this is the end of Act 1 of Control Secret 00 SpeedLore, and now we're going to progress into Act 2. Hey mates, this SpeedLore episode went way longer than expected, about 3.5 hours, so I've split it into 3 parts. You just watched part 1, and part 2 will be linked right here in the end card when it's up, and also in the description. Thanks for watching, stay true, and enjoy.